I know everything that's going on in Denver is ugly, and it is not pretty, and it is just, so far, results-wise, as bad as last year, if not worse. I mean, Nathaniel Hackett's team didn't give up 70, right? And Jerry Jeudy basically saying, hey, I'm open, but sometimes their quarterback is not blocked well enough. When he was talking about everything but him, that's why I didn't put him on this list. I wouldn't go all in for him. And that's not just because Steve Smith's a friend of mine.
Look, Jerry Jeudy don't mess with you either, Rich.
No, I get it. I get it. But I wouldn't go all in for him. I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't.
I don't think so.
But I think Denver would be willing to flip him. Not Patrick Surtain, though. But here's what I mean about, what Sean Payton is attempting to do. Trying his hardest, trying his might to start changing this culture in Denver. This was a fascinating exchange, and I kind of don't blame him for taking this approach. After the game, talking about how the Broncos won a game in a fashion in which they had not won one in a while. Check it out.
This team, Coach, had a weird stat where they had blown 10 halftime leads. Only 3 of those. Your team, the Broncos, had 10 straight halftime leads. Blown.
Well, my team
3 this
blown
year.
10 straight.
Right, 3 this year. But how much does
you
it
said
mean?
your team. So let's start and say the Denver
Broncos
Broncos
had,
historically.
Yeah,
I don't pay attention to that.
Had blown that.
I don't pay attention.
How much
to that.
does it mean?
I don't pay attention to it.
To see you get over the hump in the second half.
It wasn't our hump. It wasn't our hump. I'm saying that respectfully. It wasn't our hump. We're trying to win. Pat mentioned it to me, and I thought it was one of these like, all right, what next? I mean, meaning in New Orleans, we hadn't won a playoff game on the road. It's like, the good teams don't have those issues. The teams that aren't as good have halftime, whatever. But that's not, your team would not be the right word for it. So, with anything else?
I get it. You got to get. By the way, that's the new Denver Broncos. But that's his rallying cry. It's not our hump.
Right.
It's not our hump. It's kind of our hump. It's like what? Let me do the math in my head. It's 70% our. It was 60% our hump, 40% the other hump.
Yeah.
And I understand what he's attempting to do here. The problem for him also is he's the one who brought up Nathaniel Hackett earlier this year,
right.
But that's also him trying to separate best he can. And boy, would he love for the wins to be the ones that separate him. The wins. I'm seeing him on Christmas Eve night against the Patriots. When that game came out, I had that. I'm like, I even told you.
I know. I was thinking about
You're
coming.
like, not anymore.
Probably not.
I can give those tickets away?
I think so.
Okay. But man, he's standing there going, that's one of my guys. That's not one of my guys. That's one of my guys. That's not one of my guys. And it's going to take some time to get his guys. And the question is, what about number 3? That's the ultimate question. Is number 3 one of his guys? But one of his guys that he currently has that I bet you he knows needs to be one of his guys is the number 5 guy on my list, Justin Simmons. And Surtain. Surtain's one of his guys. That's for sure. Is Sutton one of his guys? Right? Don't know. See what Denver's road here.
Sutton's low-key having a pretty decent season.
Russ has 13 touchdowns. That's not nothing.
I look up, he's running for first downs all the time.
But it doesn't look the same.
It doesn't.
He can't get away. He does his little spin move, and he gets wrecked. Like, it's not the same.
Oh, my gosh. They have the Chiefs at home.
Coming up?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness.
Then a bye, and then at Buffalo. Home for Minnesota.
Oh, gosh.
What a rough stretch here. What a rough stretch.
Hey, man, he's 5th in the league in touchdowns.
Hey, I fully believe they're going to get it right there with him. I believe it. I mean, guy hasn't forgotten how to coach football and how to scheme stuff up. And I think it means, a lot to him. He gets this right in Denver. He goes to the Hall of Fame. Don't you think? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.